All right, it's actually easier than you think to get ahead of 99% of agency owners. And in this video, I'm first going to prove it to you, and then I'm going to show you how. So, my name's Dylan Wilson. I'm the founder of Catalyst Holdings. And after 4 long, painstaking years of running a traditional SMMA, doing anywhere between 15, 20, sometimes we'd hit 25K a month, I finally found a new agency model that allowed me to grow to over $200,000 per month without really changing much about my business. We weren't spending a whole lot more money. We didn't have to hire a whole bunch of people. I didn't change my niche. I didn't change my service delivery. I just made a few small changes to the model and how I basically ascended clients and worked with clients in that total arrangement. And that is exactly how we were able to do it. And in this video, I'm going to break that down for you guys. Now, beyond just what I've done is if you come over here, I've been able to partner and actually install these same kind of systems with other people, right? And you can see it's to help people go from 9 failed businesses to 250K a year, $3 to $67,000 per month at 19-year-olds. And the kid that actually did that is actually sitting right back there. 20 to 640K per month, 36 to 264, 0 to 30K, 60 to 360K, 3 to 20K per month, 0 to 40K per month. And actually that is outdated. Those guys are nearing in on 100K a month now. And just if I go through wins chat, and you can see these are pretty much daily wins. People closing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, multiple 5-figure deals as a result of following this process. So getting into how to get ahead of these agency owners. So the first thing that I want to say is that if you tried to scale your agency to $50,000 a month and beyond and it hasn't been working, I'm here to tell you that it's not your fault. And it's because the traditional agency model that you've been taught, it just doesn't work anymore, right? Because the most fundamental way to get new customers is to have them pay you the most amount of money while you spend the least amount of money to acquire them, right? In other words, really the thing that we're looking at is lifetime value to CAC. Now, the higher this ratio, the more defensible, successful, and valuable your business is. How much people perceive you to be valuable is how much they're going to pay you, which in other words is just your offer. Now, here's the problem, right? The challenge with SMMA, or the traditional model of SMMA, is that everyone and their mother owns one, is starting one, or is buying a course to learn how to start one. There is an immense amount of competition. And now, if I know one thing to be true, it's that competition prices out profits. And in an industry as commoditized as SMMA, there's only 2 ways to differentiate from the competition: price and offer. Now, if we know anything about business, we know that competing on price is a race to the bottom, right? Because the cost of goods and the cost of delivery is always going to stay the same or go up over time under most circumstances. I understand with AI that you could, but generally speaking, the cost of delivery is always going to go up. But if we continue dropping our prices, all of a sudden profitability gets squeezed out and the business doesn't work anymore. Now, the other option is to compete on offer, right? And because competing on price is a race to the bottom, everyone competes on offer and competes on value, and the value gaps they compete on are created by the packaging used to present their business to the market, right? In other words, everyone in SMMA competes on offer. Which what this does here is it creates upward pressure on the level of outrageousness required to win customers, right? So you look at, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, but like sometimes when we're working with clients and whatnot, I run a done for you cold email and paid ads agency. That's what Catalyst Holdings does. Okay. So it's not a coaching program or anything like that. Essentially, we just install the same systems and run them and optimize them. And our team actually just like works in the trenches on our clients' businesses to help them acquire high ticket clients by following this model. Now, one of the things that we've seen when we're working with people in various niches and whatnot is that sometimes when people are in these like super untapped niches or really like weird niches that they're only in because they have like unique experience in that niche, so they like actually get it and it's actually a good decision for them to go into that niche, like we'll run like basic offers that like aren't even that outrageous, or like pretty basic, like uninteresting offers, and they will blow up. They'll get like 15, 20, $25 cost per book call and like qualified calls, and they're actually closing them too. Or like we have one person who they're booking about 12, it's about $12 to $20 cost per call. And last time I checked in, they had closed over $10,000 in a single week, and they're only spending about $30 per day on ads. And although there is the anomalies where that happens and you can, succeed with that, generally speaking, there is a huge influx of supply when it comes to the SMMA market, right? Which creates more outrageous offers and more outrageous offers and more outrageous offers. Now, there's a downside to creating these outrageous offers, and I'll get into that in a second. But generally speaking, the more outrageous the offer, the less opportunity you have as an agency owner to set a strong foundation with new clients. Now, a golden rule of thumb for maximizing lifetime value is to underpromise and overdeliver. Never let your customers feel as though they've been tricked, led on, taken advantage of, or foremoosed. This is one of the things that we really, strive to do here at Catalyst Holdings, right? Like our offer, quote unquote, is that we'll guarantee you 10 plus 5-figure clients, or you don't pay and we'll pay for the expenses of your agency, right? But like if we set up our systems for you and you book, 20, 30, let's call it even $50 cost per call, right? And you spend $100, $200 a day on ads, right? You're going to be booking 2 to 4 sales calls per day, right? Like just on average, right? And those are like shit numbers for what we're able to do for clients. Like those are like bad case scenarios, right? So if you run that for a couple of months, even if you close at like 2%, you get your 10 clients, right? But we set that as the foundation, right? We set that as the benchmark. So when people come in and they sign 20 clients and 30 clients and 40 clients, they're all happy with us and we can actually make our long-term play, which I'll explain to you in this video, but that's to gain equity in the business. And that's a little hint or a little teaser as to how we've been able to actually leverage this new agency model to make a whole lot more money without signing a whole bunch more clients or taking any crazy amounts of action with the traditional SMMA model. Okay. So back to this, right? The more outrageous the offer, the less feasible it becomes to underpromise and overdeliver. As you can see, as illustrated in this graph, lifetime value, the more outrageous the offer, the lower lifetime value that you have, the less outrageous the offer, the easier it'll be to have a high lifetime value with your client. And this is what most SMMA client relationships end up looking like. Weak foundations, results, they churn, right? Which, as a result, you're hooped either way. And this is why the average retention for SMMA clients is 3 months. LTV for SMMAs suck, and it's a byproduct of how the business model inherently works. And as a result, you're left with 2 options. Okay. I know a whole bunch of agency owners. I've worked with a whole bunch of agency owners. I know them as friends. And I always see the agency owners end up in one of 2 situations. You either Chad scale your agency, where you make a ridiculous offer, you dump a bunch of money into ads, you high pressure close as many people as possible, you churn almost all of them after 3 months, and then you rinse and repeat this endless nightmare of a hamster wheel until one of a few things happens. Either the cost of running ads becomes so unprofitable that you're forced to stop running them, and pretty soon you don't have a business anymore. You churn and burn through enough clients that new clients within your niche just stop wanting to buy from you, or you shut her down because you can no longer sleep at night. And I know a whole bunch of people running the traditional SMMA model that is literally their life. They won't tell you that. They won't show you that. I'm not going to call them out or anything, but that is their life. Or the other option is to continue dealing with the ongoing struggle to set appointments because cold prospects aren't interested in your saturated offer, wasting your time getting no-showed and as a result getting nothing done all day, trying to sell to people that don't want to pay up front because they've already been burned by your competition, the never-ending, let me think about it, I need to talk to my partner, send over the contract, and I'll take a look objections, the lack of motivation to even take your sales calls because you know that you're not going to close, the feeling of having no idea where or when your next dollar is going to come, the feeling of low self-esteem because you haven't done what you said you will do, right? Which when you struggle with this second option, which is most of you guys, it results in you feeling discouraged. And now you don't care what you need to do. You just want it to work, but you also don't want to put in a ton of hard work unless you know it will work. Now, the good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. In fact, if you switch from the traditional agency model to a high leverage marketing HoldCo, which is what I'm going to be explaining how to do in this video, you can make a few small tweaks to your offers, your systems, your model that take less than a week to do. And it can be the catalyst to 10, 50, or even $100,000 a month. And as a result, you'll finally be able to get paid for all the hard work that you've put in. Go out to dinner without looking at the price. You can enjoy peaceful sleep every single night. Walk into any room with undeniable confidence in who you are and finally become a leader and mentor to your clients and social circle. Okay, so how this is actually done is in 3 steps. The first one is we're going to need to learn how to turn our $1,500 a month clients into up to $15,000 per month clients. And we're going to need to do it without increasing our workload. So I'm going to share with you guys that. The second thing is we're going to talk about how to fulfill these $100,000 plus per year contracts with less than actual 1 hour a week of your time. And then the third thing is how can we really secure our success by actually getting equity inside of our clients' businesses and turning their agency into an actual HoldCo. Okay, so the first one, how to turn $1,500 a month clients into $15,000 a month clients without increasing your workload. So when I first started my online business, I was lost. And just like you are right now, I consumed a million different strategies to try and grow my business. But at the end of the day, this was stupid. Because there's only three ways to actually grow a business. You either get more clients, you get them to pay more, you get them to pay more often. Now, what's cool about this unique offer structure is it actually creates a growth flywheel that all at the same time gets you more clients that pay you more money and that pay you more times. Okay, so here is how we do it. Now, the first thing that we do is make an irresistible offer to get more clients. Now, I know what you're saying is like, okay, yeah, that's what everybody says, but how do I actually do that? Okay, so we do intense market research for our clients, and this is what I would be doing if I were, if I were to work with you, or you should be doing on your own. We first do intense market research to answer the question. This is like the best question that I like to give is like, okay, if you're on a sales call, what is the one thing that you could say where that if you said that, people would close like literally every single time? Okay. And that is a good thought experiment to get your mind going to where, like, what is the market crack that I like to call? Like, what is it, like the crack cocaine of your market that they will do anything to get their hands on? Right now, go through and you just got to spend time thinking. Like, don't worry about how you're going to fulfill on it. Don't worry about what you need to do in order to get those results. Don't worry about anything like that. Just think to yourself, okay, what could I say on a sales call where people would close like literally every single time? Okay. Then once you have figured that out, let's say it's, they're a real estate agent and it's 10 new listings per month, for example, right? Okay. Then in that case, you just need to reverse engineer the process in order to figure out how to get 10 new listings, right? So let's just make a super simple example, right? You're in the real estate space and all of your competitors are offering one new listing per month, right? But you want to come with a much more high ticket offer that's more directed to teams and offer to get them 10 new listings per month. Now, at first glance, that might seem unrealistic. That might seem, too good to be, like, that might seem not possible, right? But what if you just 10x the amount of money that you were spending on ads? Well, I would actually bet that if you 10x the amount of money that you're spending on ads, not only would you get 10 times more listings per month for your real estate agents, you'd probably get 15 to 20 because your Facebook ads would have so much more data. You'd be able to spend a lot more time targeting, optimizing, and all that kind of stuff to actually get results with those ads. Okay. Now, once you have figured out what their dream outcome is, and you've reversed engineered the process in order to get their dream outcome, that's why you need to start with a problem and a desire in the marketplace instead of thinking, oh, I know how to run Facebook ads, so I'm going to run Facebook ads for realtors. Nobody wants Facebook ads. They want 10 listings for their team every single month, right? Nobody cares about TikTok ads or anything like that. It's the dream outcome. What is the dream outcome that they want? Then how can we reverse engineer in order to get that? Then all we have to do is just say, I will get you this guaranteed, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what's the catch of the guarantee? Well, they have to do the basic shit required, like call the leads, or if you're doing that for them, they don't have to do that. They have to spend like this amount of money on ads. You set it up so it's like, so long as you're spending this amount of money on ads, it's like, as long as you can like answer the phone and like show up to the appointments, they will get 10 clients or they will get 10 listings per month or whatever the case it is. Okay. So once you've like identified what it is that they want, and then they just reverse engineer the process, guarantee that, and then just put a few like, okay, I will guarantee that so long as you can do X, Y, and Z, then we have to get them to pay more. Right. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you rather pay $100 one time for a gym membership to try and get in shape, or $1,000 one time to get your dream body guaranteed? Right. Now, you, me, and everybody else on the planet will always pay a lot more money for a one-time outcome as opposed to a monthly retainer, right? So what we do is that instead of selling these month-to-month retainers, we capitalize on this effect and we group either our first 3 or first 6 months of our service delivery into a one-time fee, and we attach that to the dream outcome, right? Then the next thing that we do is that we charge per attributed revenue to get people to pay more, right? Because the true value with agencies is not selling the service, but what the service provides, right? For example, a YouTube content agency's value isn't the $2,000 a month for 4 videos that it puts out. It could be the personal brand that it builds to generate up to $200,000 per month, right? And so that's the second thing that we'll do is that we'll capitalize this to get clients to pay 3x to 10x of what they were paying before. Now, if you're sitting this and thinking like, oh, well, if I did that, I wouldn't actually get any results. I wouldn't actually get paid. Well, then it means your service sucks. And you got to spend more time on building a service. Now, couple weeks ago, I put out a video talking about the biggest lessons that I've learned in 2024 as I, as I scaled my company to a multiple seven-figure company. And in that process, I said the number one thing is that if you build an amazing product, literally all of your problems go away. This goes for marketing. This goes for like if you have a really good product, you don't need to market. You just like show people what you do. You just like screen share. Same with sales calls. You don't need to be good at sales. You just like screen share your Slack channels, right? If you have a really good product, right? And so that was why the last 6, 7, 8 months of 2024, I just spent all my time just building the product, because you get that to the point like where it is now with our team, right? Where we literally finally at the point where we have what I've reached, where we have reached what I call the case study per day amount of results that we're able to get. Then like everything becomes super easy because you just like show people like the wins chat, like you just show people what you do and then people want it, right? Now, once you get it to that point, right? If you're in, let's say the gym space, right? And you're able to add them 15, 20, 20, $30,000 per month in new sales, right? You take 10% of that, that's an extra 2, 3, 4K per month, right? Or, anywhere between 5 and 15%. That could be an extra 2 to 4K per month that you're getting in addition to the money that you've made up front. Now, the last thing is that by following this framework, right, you actually get to keep your clients much longer. Because with the old model, that like if you were charging 3K per month, the second the amount of results that you're able to produce dip below 3K, your clients would be like, fuck you, and they would churn, right? But now, because how much you charge is always going to be less than the results that you get, instead of losing the client after one bad month and then having to go spend more money on ads or do more outreach and take more sales calls to sign another client to get back up to that revenue level, all you need to do is just fix your shit, get them back on track for next month, and they don't leave you because you're always making them a lot more money than they're paying you. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, how can I sell this so easily? Well, the way that I look at it is that it doesn't matter, like with the old model, it doesn't matter if you're, an SMMA coaching, consulting, like whatever you're doing right now. The old offer is always going to be like, pay me $3,000 a month plus $3,000 a month in ad spend, and I'll try and deliver your dream outcome. And, here's why you should trust me. And then like, here's some case studies, right? But now you get to make this offer. Pay us one time to hire our team to get set up, and then never again. Never pay another agency again, because we'll become your in-house team. We'll run your ads for free. 100% of the money that you spend goes to your own marketing. You're not paying agency retainers. You're not paying anything like that. We're also systemize the conversion of leads for you. And then you only pay us a percentage of what I make for you after you've made it. I only make money if you do. So we're in this together. Right. And you can see how much more valuable of an offer that is compared to the traditional, $3,000 a month plus $3,000 a month in ad spend, da 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 da. And that was the first big change that we made in regards to how we structured our offers in order to succeed with our agency. All right, so the next stage of this is like, okay, so now that we're signing these clients, like how do we actually fulfill a $100,000 a year contract? And as a bonus, I'm gonna show you guys how we can do it in less than 1 hour per week. The first thing that I do, if I'm ever going into a new niche, I just find a business that's already crushing it in that niche, right? Like let's say I'm in landscaping or HVAC or real estate, whatever the case may be. I just find like one of the biggest real estate firms that's acquiring clients through social media marketing. And then I just funnel hack the shit out of them. I opt into all their lead forms. I call them up. I speak to their setters. I speak to their closers, whatever the case may be. I go through all their funnels. I save their links. I transcribe their VSLs. I just do all this stuff, right? And because what it is it's a proven roadmap in order to deliver results in this industry, right? It's like, I think it was Tony Robbins who once said, it's like you can always tell who the pioneers are because they're lying face down in the dirt with arrows in their back, right? And it's like, why do you need to go out there and reinvent the wheel when people have already invested millions and millions of dollars and hours and time and capital and talent in order to make it happen? Why don't you just go and see what's already working and then just begin to model that, right? And so that is the first thing that we'll do. And then once we've done that, it's like, because that we made that offer structure, and like I said, offer is the biggest lever to pull. Because we've made those changes with the offer, it's like, okay, we now just collected like $10,000. Like I showed you earlier, like this kid right here, Evan Jacob, he's like a 20-year-old kid. Like he just collected $9,950. Okay, well, in Evan Jacob's sense, right, he can now easily spend, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in hiring like a world-class team, right? For a couple grand per month, you can hire world-class copywriters, world-class media buyers, world-class, like the best of the best, right? And so instead of trying to figure this all out on your own, you spend your time learning how to manage and train people and lead a team and have a vision. And then you just hire these experts because you now have the capital with those offer changes that you made to go in and execute this for you. Okay, so now that we've gone through the offer about how to turn $1,500 a month clients into potentially $15,000 per month clients without increasing our workload, then we've gone through how to fulfill on those clients. The last thing I'm going to break down is how we can secure equity in our clients' businesses by using psychological price anchors. And I give you a hint. This is actually going to be a lot easier than you think it's going to be. And it all just comes down to, how the human mind works. So I'll start this off by telling you a story. So a couple years ago, when I was actually had no idea what I was doing, and during this long 4 hard years that I was talking about earlier, at one point in time, I had a handful of clients, a good amount of clients, on like $500 a month subscription offers. Okay, now after doing this for work and doing like a whole bunch of shit for them, like done for you stuff, like all that kind of stuff, I came up with a $1,500 per month offer. Right now, it was more of a help them implement. It wasn't as much done for you, all this kind of stuff, right? And I went to my $500 a month clients, I pitched it to them, and they all said no. Not a single one of them said yes. Okay. Then what I ended up doing is a couple of months later, I discovered new things and I created a $3,000 per month offer. Right now, the $3,000 offer, really what I did was I just, changed my prices from $500 to $3,000 a month because I read $100 million offers and I figured that I could do that now. Okay. So after running that $3,000 a month client, getting a handful of clients on that, I went to them and I pitched them the $1,500 a month offer. Right. And every single one of them but two said yes to me. Right now, the difference wasn't in the offer. Right. The $1,500 a month offer actually provided less than the original $500 offer. Right. The difference between why all the first time the client said no and the second time the client said yes was the psychological price anchor that they had towards my services. And that's the same effect that we're going to have here. Right. So if we follow the offer framework properly and we charge, 7, 10, 15, 20K per month, right? Once we've gone through a 3 months, they're associating the value of our services to be 10, 15, 20K. Right. So we can do one of two things at this stage, both of which, allow you to get into a position to potentially gain equity in these people's businesses. Right. The first thing that we can do is we can say, okay, after the 3 months, we'll do, 10, 15, 20% revenue share only. Right. And they're going to be like, oh, I was committing to all these prices now. Right. Now I just get to work with you on a revenue share basis. And obviously you can sell that properly. Clients are going to say yes, right? That's what clients fundamentally always want to hear. Now, the second thing that you could do is you could do a small retainer plus a small or revenue share basis. Whatever works better for your business model, whatever works better for that client relationship that you have, that does not matter. Now, here's where the real point is, right? Once you have them on a revenue share, you need to go balls to the wall and scaling the share to that company, right? And this is actually what we did to get equity in one of our first companies, known as Nomad Micro Homes. And so essentially what we did is we followed the same process. Then we had them on that revenue share basis. And then eventually we got that revenue share earnings coming back to the agency that we had was up to about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 per month. Now, what actually ended up happening is at that time, the investors of that the housing company were like, "Why are we paying this agency $70,000 per month?" And the investors said, "Okay, well, instead of paying them because they're obviously really good, because at this point, we've taken the company from 20 to 640K per month. Why don't we just give them some equity into the business?" Right. And that was actually how we literally discovered this model. Right. And so once you've structured that where you have that revenue share, right, and they're just paying you that top line revenue, then you've run that up. Eventually you get to the point where you're paying, they're paying you 10K a month, 15K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. And again, this all goes back to having a really good service, right? I don't care how much you're making them, the owner of those companies are still going to be looking at you and be like, damn, I have to pay you 15K per month, 20K per month, whatever that case may be. Right. And this is also why the growth operating model is flawed. Right. And so then at that case, you go say, hey, instead of me just, sucking 15, 20, 30K a month out of the business, why don't I take, 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever makes sense of equity into the business. Right. Now we've done this 3 times to build our HoldCo. Our goal is to have 10 by the end of 2025. Right. And this is how we allowed our business to go from, that 20, 30-ish K per month or the agency model to over the $200,000 per month that we experienced that rapid growth back in 2024. So that right there is how we actually get ahead of 99% of agency owners in 2025. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So hope you guys got value out of this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Happy to jump in, help you guys out in any way I can. And other than that, I wish you guys all the best with your agency, and I'll see you guys in the next video.